Welcome everybody to the first client interview with ProZ Pro Bono. And I'm delighted to have with me today a very eminent doctor, Dr. James Heilman from Canada. And he's going to tell us a little bit about his Wiki medical project. So welcome, James. Nice to see you.
Great. Thank you for having me. To jump in, as mentioned, I'm an emergency physician here in Canada, and I've been working with Wikipedia for the last, going on 15, 16 years. And one of our big efforts is, everybody knows Wikipedia exists in English, but of course, we also exist in 300 other languages. And
300.
one of our big efforts is to bring medical content that has been developed in English into as many other languages as possible.
Okay, so do you have a background in languages or in translation? What led you as a doctor into thinking of this language aspect of Wiki?
Yeah, my background is in medicine. I spent many years developing medical content on English Wikipedia, and more recently on MDWiki .org. And as I worked to develop content on English Wikipedia, I came to the realization that this is one of the major places people globally turn for healthcare information. And when you look online, as an English speaker, you sort of take for granted that there's information that you understand on every topic you can imagine. That is not the reality for those who speak many of the other 5,000 languages on planet Earth. As someone who believes everybody deserves access to high quality healthcare information, one of the things I realized is for us to reach that goal, we really need to get healthcare information into other languages and easily available to everyone.
Right, that's amazing. So 5,000 languages in the world. And you're working, or Wikipedia translates into about 300 languages, you said?
So, Wikipedia is currently available in 300 languages. Not all languages are nearly as well developed as English.
Sure.
And that's sort of one of the big goals of our healthcare translation effort is to try to improve the access to healthcare information where, such access is currently poor.
Right, so there's a real kind of humanitarian instinct behind what you're doing in the sense that you want to disseminate knowledge so that nobody is left behind, nobody is left out of this great knowledge collectivity that we have, this hive mind. Because Wikipedia itself, if I'm not mistaken, is a voluntary project by everybody involved.
Exactly. So I'm here as a volunteer. I have a number of other physicians who are working with me. We sort of bring the medical expertise on the English side to this project, and then we're forming collaborations with translators to sort of bridge that gap between English and other languages, between medical expertise and where that expertise might not be as prevalent.
That's amazing. And how has the project grown over those 16 years?
So we began our active translation efforts back in 2011. Our initial partners were Translators Without Borders, as well as local Wikipedians in those in specific languages. We over these years we've translated more than 20,000 articles, and we've worked in more than 150 different languages. And these articles that got translated since 2015, they've been viewed more than 3.5 billion times.
Billion.
How
Wow.
Exactly. Yes. So Wikipedia is incredibly read, which is why it's important for those who believe in access to information to engage with Wikipedia and make sure Wikipedia is accurate and that information is available. Over the last few years, the project has sort of, fallen apart. And over the last couple of years, we've been trying to get things re-energized. We're putting more tech components in place to make the process much easier for those involved with coordinating the translation efforts, as well as making things substantially easier for our volunteer translators.
Right. Okay. And over the last few months, we've been working together, the ProZ Pro Bono project, with you. What kind of difference, what has that brought to your project that wasn't there before, or in what way has that helped you?
Yeah, so as mentioned, we did a great deal of work, 5, 10 years ago, and things had sort of fizzled over the last number of years with some of our partners changing, the ways in which they work. Um, um, COVID-19 also hit, which distracted a number of us. And then, over the last couple of years, we've tried to re-energize this. We've been reaching out for new partners, and of course, we've come across ProZ, and we've looked at how we can work together to re-energize, to re get material out to the wider world. And translators from your organization has joined with folks working on the technical side and the content side of our organization, and we have begun. We've relaunched efforts together, and we're now busy translating more material into more languages.
That's great. And to join the project, you need to be an expert in medicine to be a medical translator, do you think?
I don't think you need to be an expert. You need to be an expert in the target language. So one of the key things we on the physician side of things are trying to do is we're trying to have the starting material in easier to understand language. We're trying to write in common English because our target population isn't necessarily healthcare professionals. Our target population is everyone. So we try to write the starting material in easier to understand language, such that not only can it be translated by those without a medical background, but that it can be understood by those without a medical background. Um, so we're more than happy to have translators who don't have a medical background. What's required is that that translator has an expertise in that target language.
Sure. And of course, I would imagine that people will be self-selecting. People with little interest in medicine or little knowledge are unlikely to apply and become part of this. And all of those, conversely, who do join are people who've either have got an interest in biology. I mean, I know that recently we put a call out for people to work with you. And when we saw their rationales for wanting to join this project, some of them had degrees in medicine or in biology, all kinds of things. So there were plenty of knowledge, enthusiasm, and interest. And maybe the combination of those three things makes an ideal candidate for working on this.
Yeah. Those are the ideal candidates. But we're anybody who believes in our goals, we're more than happy to have them join us.
That's fantastic. So to finish off, what I'm getting from this is a sense that this isn't only a language project, it's not only an internet project, it's a really profoundly democratic project, because what you're doing is taking the mysteries of science, which have been clothed maybe in the past in quite complex language, and making them more available to people, even in their own language. And then, of course, through the translation, you're making that available to a much wider audience throughout the world.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's a great project for us to be involved with. Thank you for being part of this first interview on the ProZ Pro Bono client interview series. Hopefully there'll be many more to come, but it's been great to have you as our first guest. Thank you very much, James.
Yep. Thanks again, and I look forward to working together.